Imagine this. Your arms and legs are tied, your body's still alive, and you're forced inside the skin of a dead animal. The stench of decay surrounds you. Wild dogs begin to circle. Or picture being chained to a stake, left under the blazing sun, while the laughter of thousands becomes the soundtrack of your final hours. These weren't nightmares. They were punishments of the mighty Roman Empire. And today, we're uncovering the 5 most brutal of them all. But be warned, these punishments weren't designed just to kill. They were designed to break the soul. Rome is remembered for emperors, legions, and glory. But behind the marble statues and golden triumphs lurked a system of justice so cruel, it turned fear into an art form. Every punishment carried a message: defy Rome, and you won't just die, you'll become a lesson. So let us begin our countdown of the top 5 most brutal Roman punishments, each one darker and more terrifying than the last. Punishment number 5, Damnatio ad Bestias. In the grand arenas of Rome, the crowd didn't just come for gladiators. They came for blood. A condemned man, stripped of weapons, stands in the arena. The gates creak open, and suddenly, lions, leopards, even bears rush out. This wasn't a fight, it was a spectacle. The Romans called it Damnatio ad Bestias, condemnation to the beasts. For the crowd, it was entertainment. For the empire, it was a warning. For the victim, it was terror beyond imagination. But what if I told you this wasn't even close to the worst? Punishment number 4, crucifixion. Crucifixion, a word that still chills the world today. It wasn't just about death. It was about slow death. The condemned was nailed or tied to a wooden cross, left hanging for hours, sometimes days. The sun burned. The body weakened. Every breath became torture. And the worst part? The victim wasn't hidden away. They were displayed in public, so everyone could watch Rome's warning in action. It became the ultimate symbol of fear, and a method so infamous, it's remembered even 2,000 years later. But Rome had punishments so bizarre, they sound like horror stories, until you realize they were real. Punishment number 3, Poena Cullei, sewn into a sack with animals. This one is almost unthinkable. Imagine being sentenced for a crime, often parricide, the killing of one's own parents. The Romans had a punishment that fit the crime, Poena Cullei. The condemned was tied up, then sewn into a leather sack, alongside animals, a dog, a rooster, a monkey, and a venomous snake, all struggling, all panicking, trapped inside with you. The sack was then thrown into a river. Death was certain, but the chaos before it was the true punishment. But Rome didn't stop there. Sometimes the punishment didn't just kill. It spread fear through an entire army. Punishment number 2, Decimation. Rome's legions were legendary. But what kept them disciplined was fear. If a unit disobeyed orders or showed cowardice, commanders used a punishment called decimation. 1 out of every 10 soldiers was chosen at random and executed by their own comrades. Imagine the terror. You didn't know if you'd survive or be forced to kill your brothers in arms. It wasn't just execution, it was psychological warfare. Rome proved that even its own soldiers were not beyond punishment. But the final punishment on this list was darker than death itself. Punishment number 1, Damnatio Memoria, erased from history. The Romans believed death ended life, but what if your existence was erased too? This was the ultimate punishment, Damnatio Memoria. If someone defied Rome, their statues were destroyed. Their names were scratched off inscriptions, their memory wiped from history. It was as if they never lived at all. To the Romans, this was worse than execution, because it didn't just kill the body, it killed the legacy. And in a world obsessed with honor, legacy was everything. So there you have it, to 5 of the most brutal Roman punishments. From wild beasts, to crosses, to sacks filled with snakes, to punishments that erased not just life, but memory itself. Rome built its empire on discipline and fear, and these punishments remind us just how fragile life was under its rule. If you found this journey into the dark side of history chilling, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because next time we'll uncover even more secrets history tried to bury.